Hey folks, this is Dr. Van Breeding. At MCHC, we've secured the best providers and medical staff to care for you and your family. But sometimes your health may require more specialized treatment. MCHC has great relations with the best specialists in Hazard, Pikeville, or Lexington, making sure your referral is handled in a timely manner. Your health is the #1 priority of ours, and the ability to care for you is just another way Mountain Comprehensive Health Corporation is providing better health for a longer life.
Hey, this is Oliver Simmons. You're listening to You Know the Drill with Wes and Brady.
This is Aaron Harrison. You listening to You Know the Drill with Wes and Brady.
This is Alex Fortress. I'm on with You Know the Drill with Wes and Brady, and hopefully it should be a good time.
Here we are, guys. Listen, I don't know where Brady Kennedy is. I don't know if anybody does. He likes to tell these stories to his wife, Emily, that he's going to Florida for work. I don't know if that's, who knows? I don't know where he's at. Anyway, we have Austin Kidd here with us today. Listen, Kidd, when Brady said that he had to go to Florida for work, I was like, okay, I need Austin Kidd right here, right now. Man, thank you for hopping on here with us. Special in all caps co-host today.
It's an honor to be here. I know I got big shoes to fill. I know Brady's got some web toes, so I don't know how well I'll fill those shoes. I don't know if he gets some special order, but yeah, he's in Miami, man. And he called me the other day. He's like, dude, this thing's, I think he just called to brag. He's like, this thing's awesome. He's like, they give you like all these gifts. So he's like, I just got stuff showing up at my door. I think he got a package while we were on the phone. And he's like, yeah, bummer, Emily can't go. So I'm gonna be down. We're staying at like a resort. It's like they treat it like a country club retreat. He's like, I don't know.
What a deal.
Sounds a little suspect to me. Yeah.
Sounds almost too good to
what's
be
really
true.
Yeah, what's really going on? Yeah.
I've never had a work trip like that in my life. I don't.
Me either.
But who knows? Oh, man. Well, listen, a lot to talk about today. First of all, we are in like the greatest time ever right now. It's March, so it's March Madness. You've got conference tournaments going on, specifically the SEC tournament in Nashville. Kid, we've got everything. You've got all of the conference tournaments. You've got games like Miami of Ohio getting beat today. You had Kentucky advancing in the SEC tournament, beating Missouri today, playing again tomorrow. What a time to be alive. High school basketball is going on. The stage is set for the KHSAA Sweet 16. A lot of phenomenal teams in there. Big shout out to a lot of people close to us. Austin, I know you've got friends and family that are coaching in the tournament. We've got our good friend Casey Huff coaching in the tournament. One of my former guys at Madisonville, who is now at Lyon County, Nolan Kaufman, has made it back to the state tournament. Excited about all that. Anybody specific that you're excited to see next week?
There's one really special individual, which I've been saying for years that I cannot wait. I knew he would make it. It was just a matter of time. He's such a dang good ball coach. But this was the year. We got to see it happen and look forward to seeing him play at 11 o'clock on Thursday at Rupp Arena.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. I tell you what, since we're talking about him, let's just go ahead, Kid, and pull him. Look at that. Look at that face right there. Ladies,
go Dogs!
We are joined by none other than 14th Region Championship coach from the Hazard Bulldogs, head coach Casey Huff. Case, man, how you feeling right now?
Elated. Actually, the first 2 days, it's awesome, and you're soaking it in, and you're sharing the photos, and just kind of reliving the whole thing. And then I felt the preparation and competitive anxiety start creeping in today, and so now it's time to kind of refocus and get grounded and hit this thing head on and try to go down here and compete on the biggest stage for these guys.
So we've seen a little bit, Casey. We've seen the tournament bracket at this point. We know you play Thursday at 11 against Butler. I want to get to that here in a second. Before we get to Thursday at 11 a.m. next week, man, you've been a part of this Hazard Bulldog program for a second now. Walk us through a little bit of, it's all great. You're living in this moment where you said it's been a couple of days of sharing photos. You're living it. What's it like leading up to that moment? Because it's not easy. It is not easy to win a region tournament.
No, it was. It's been a really trying season for all of us. When our staff decided to take on this job and this journey. It wasn't long after that 14th Region Player of the Year, Seth Cottle, he had to undergo surgery on his knee. And, we had a few other things happen, and Trace Kincaid was battling an injury. And, but that's what makes it so special. You're going to have valleys and you're going to have ups and downs. And when you're able to show some resiliency and things end up going your way, it ends up being a really special thing to be a part of. And I'm just really grateful and humbled to be a part of it. It's been a full team family effort, and we figured out how to get it done. And I'm just really thankful that I was able to be a part of it. And it's going to be in my memories for the rest of my life.
It is a moment, it's one of those moments for us, Casey. We will remember where we were on the moment it happened, right? Kid, I know, was tuning in, watching. All of the Coach Huff loyals were in watching. I loved every second of it. Kid, what was your immediate reaction watching Hazard? I know, especially there at the end when Talon Osborne gets that dunk at the end of the game. Tell me how you're feeling, kid.
I was so excited. Oh my gosh, to see a breakthrough for somebody, the time you've seen firsthand, the time and the work that they put in for it. I was so happy for you, Casey. When I saw Casey go in for the hug on the sideline, and I apologize, I don't know your assistant's name, but like that embrace, I felt like you were hugging me through the screen. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. My 1-year-old was screaming, my wife was screaming. We were into it. Awesome. I was really upset I wasn't there though, because Breathitt County is my favorite gym in the whole state of Kentucky, maybe the whole world. I love it.
That's right behind Memorial, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's right. The historical Memorial.
The historical.
No, thank you. Thanks, Austin, man. I love you, kid. I love your family. That hug was with Coach Hurt, who deserves his flowers. He's been in this game a long time, and they've won a lot of big games with he's led his own programs. He's been the assistant, but at the end of the day, he's a ball coach, and he's good. And you're only as strong as your staff. And he and I and the rest of these guys, Coach Bartram, Coach P, Coach Carter, Coach O, we've leaned into each other a lot this year. And man, for us to get these kids, well, the kids got us there, but for us to watch it come to fruition and be a part of it's just been really, really, really special. And we're all just thankful. But that hug was real, man. I was ready. We got it done for these boys, and these guys get to go play at Rupp, and that's what it was always about. And I'm just happy to be along for the ride.
You've got a lot of people expressing in the comments right now how proud they are of you. Christy Jones Crum from Alice Lloyd. I know you remember from back in the day.
Oh, yeah, we love the Crum. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Matt Anderson says proud of you. And then I don't know what weight she holds, but Megan Huff seems elated as well, Casey.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're not the first person in your house to make it to the state tournament.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, and she'll let you know. I also won the All-A. I also won my district. It was they're beating teams by 35. Every one of our games was hard. Like all of them were tough, and Megan and her squad just ran the table. But we talked about it quite a bit, and it's just a really special. The most special thing about it is having those 2 photos and hopefully core memories for our girls where they're on the ladder with us. You know, how cool is that moment for to be up there with Maya and Dharma, and for those, you know, they see it, they have a different POV. You know, it's mom and dad, they're gone a lot and they work a lot. We're in the gym a lot, and to see success on the other side of that after a lot of hard work is a really, really cool thing that I hope my girls can take that and carry it with them for the rest of their lives. You know, apply that to all facets of their life. You know, you got to put in the time if you want good things to happen, and to be there with them and on that ladder is it's a really special moment for me, and hopefully it's a really special moment for them as we go on.
Of the 2 daughters, Maya and Dharma, who gave you the most advice through this tournament?
I probably can't repeat on air what Maya has said about the competition. Dharma is a little more laid back, and Maya is a stick of dynamite. But I guess if I had to say between the 2, probably Dharma. She keeps me a little more grounded. Maya's a little more fire driven, I would say. I'm not sure her approach would always be beneficial, but I think it is sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shout out to our good friend John Kitchen. He's down in Nashville. He
elite point guard, all-time assist leader at Knott County Central. Give John Kitchen a hand, folks.
I am so glad. I can't even express. He said he can't hear a thing, and I'm so glad, because I can't imagine where his family would be hearing that. I love it. Casey, obviously you have coached at a high level ever since you've been in the realm as head coach. You've been competitive. I know you. Me and Austin Kidd know you at heart. You're a competitor, and you'll accept nothing less. So obviously year in and year out as a head coach, you've always felt like your teams had a chance to win the region, whichever region you've been in. No different story this year, right? And at the start of this season, one of your primary goals is to hang a banner and go to Rupp Arena. Was there a point in the tournament this year that maybe was a turning point to you, or a point where you felt like, this is it, we're going to do this, I know it?
Okay, I'm going to tell you a funny story.
Uh-oh.
And not everybody let me first say this, and let me give you just a really good, clean answer here. Yes, you know, these guys have been really close multiple times in the past few years. And just a legendary coach, and Al Holland leading them. And well, you know how it is with all of us. I mean, sometimes you just don't catch the break, and they just hadn't got the break, you know. But Al had built such a standard and winning culture at Hazard that these kids knew what it would take. They had felt the agony of defeat. They had gone through the emotions of losing those close ones in those tough games. So they were seasoned. And I think you have to tip your hat to Al. You know, it wasn't like I came in here and we just created this culture. Obviously, we have kind of taken the reins and led it in a different direction because it's a new coaching staff and it's a new approach. But Al Holland set the standard at Hazard High School, and those kids were seasoned. So the entire season, it almost felt like, man, when the lights come on, these kids are going to show up at the showdown. Like, they're going to go. We've got some gamers. I mean, Seth Collins Player of the Year. Yeah. Talon, when he's on that stage, you won't find any more competitive. Trace Kincaid is absolutely built for this. Like, he's built for it. Tuck Johnson is as blue-collared and tough and cerebral, just a dream to coach. And then I felt like we had the ultimate role player in Tucker Napier. And, you know, I can call him a role player because that's what he wants. He wants to be whatever this team needs. He embraces that. You always say, you know, embrace the role you have while you work towards the role you want. Like, being whatever we need is the role he wants. And then we had what we needed on the bench. So, yeah, the whole season I felt good about it. But here's my story. So, every game I go to Pantry Shelf Donuts in Hazard, Kentucky. Shout out Pantry Shelf.
Great spot. Great spot.
Oh, fantastic. And I buy a certain – I can only get the fresh mints at pantry chef. These things like came out in the 80s. You can't get them anymore. So anyway, they sell them. So we play Prairie Central in the district championship, and I go down to get my mints that I always get. They're not there. I'm panicked. I'm a very, it's got my energy all off. We lose the game. I mean, I remember going into it, I was like, this is a disaster. Like, I ain't got my mints. Like, how am I going back? I got to get my energy right. I'm praying. I'm like, just get me centered, you know. So they get the mints back in. Everything's good. We go for a whole week. I'm getting my mints. Life's good before practice. So I go to get the mints before the regional championship game. It's empty. Sheer panic. I go talk to the lady. I'm like, ma'am, I show her the box, the empty box. I take the box off of the. And I'm like,
it's not enough to tell her.
Do you have any more of these? Because if you do, I need them. She's like, let me go check in the back, honey. You know, she's checking it. She's like, we don't have any. I'm like, yeah, right. That's how I felt, Blue.
This is it.
This is it. This is it.
The game's decided.
I'm like, all right. I'm like, I'm fine. I got to lock in for my guys. I cannot let this dictate whether we win or lose. So I'm going down to get the orange Tic Tacs. And what had fallen through the rack was the last pack of those green mints. And I see them on the floor, and I pick them up, and I take them. I'm smiling ear to ear. And I'll never forget getting back to my coaches. And it's like, we're going to win this thing. We're good. Destiny has talked. I take a page out of Dan Hurley's book, man. Like, I'm always looking for omens, and I had my omen. And other than my guys being seasoned because Al Hollins to go and me just having gamers, I had my mitts, and that's when it all came full circle. And I was like, we got it. We're going to be regional champs.
And since then, Pantry Shelf and Hazard has raised the price of those mints $1.
She actually told me, I asked her today, she actually told me that she thinks those are going out of stock. And I'm like, well, this is the perfect time for me to kind of change what I get pregame. And it's good. It's fine to do it now. We're all right. We're going to Rupp, and we're going to go do our best to make Hazard proud, and we're okay. We can start anew the following season. So
orange Tic Tacs might be the omen.
Yeah. Orange Tic Tacs might have to suffice. That was going to be my second choice.
Orange Tic Tacs. I tell you what, I feel like it tells you a lot about a person on whether they go for the orange or the white Tic Tacs.
Oh, I think it says everything. I think it speaks volumes.
I love it. Well, Casey, you have that omen. You know you're going to win, but you're going through this tournament, and the first round of, and let's be honest, going into this 14th region tournament, everybody has the feeling that anybody can win this thing, right? I mean, this is wide open in the 14th region. And you go in there, obviously a really tough game against Knott County Central, the first game. And, some of your lead guys, obviously it's a different game defensively. Some of your lead guys, let's look at that game at the first when, Trace Kincaid has 3-4 points the first game, and then responds with 18 points the next two games, comes back in full form. What is that like, prepping each game when you're in tournament time? It's do or die. Talk a little bit about that. Was there anybody that showed up that was an added bonus that you knew was there all year, but when it came time, here we are?
Well, the entire season, the 14th region was really competitive. A lot of parity. You've got I think some really good coaches in our region. So we knew it was going to be tough. And in prep, obviously the Knott County game was a lot of emotion tied to that game for multiple different reasons, and just a bunch of great kids on that team and ultimate competitors on that team. So we knew we were going to get their very best shot. I'll never forget after the game, Frank, Trace's dad, he said, we said it going into it. We didn't care if Trace scored 0 points. We got to get to Rupp. We got to get to Rupp. That was the focus. And I'm like, all right, one game, one possession, one play at a time, one quarter at a time. But Rupp was always the goal. And but that was the mindset for all these guys. They all knew nobody cared to sacrifice with this team. I told them this at one point in the season. You know, we had a really tough loss to Breathitt County in the All-A. It was tough. And
Sure.
it was tough in the community. You know, I'll never forget Bobby Keith. You know, when he would lose a game in Clay County, which didn't happen often, but he said the sun wouldn't rise for 3 or 4 days, or at least it felt like. And that's what it feels like here. And that was a tough loss. But I remember us going back and just thinking, you know, if we can learn from this loss, this can be kind of what moves us into that next tier when it counts the most. And I told my guys that day at practice, I said, the beauty of this team is everything that we're struggling with is basketball, and we can coach you and we can fix it. There's not jealousy on this team. There's not those type of intangibles are scary when you're trying to make a championship run, and we didn't have that. We just don't have it. You know, these kids really are. We know Seth Cottle pulls the sled, like it's clear, and everybody else knows what they needed to do in order to get this city and this community what it's been longing for, and that's a championship. And everybody just bought in. You know, it was always from day one, buy in or buy a ticket. Like if this ain't your thing, and you don't understand like the way we're laying this out, and you don't want to be a part of it, that's fine, but you probably don't need to be here. And they bought in, and so it worked out good. Preparation was great. The one kid that really stood out to me is Tucker Napier and Tucker Johnson come tournament play. You know, Talon elevated his game, obviously. Trace, like I said, a gamer, Seth, player of the year. Those accolades speak for themselves. You know, but Tucker Johnson, the lunch pail guy doing the dirty stuff, he really came along in the latter part of the season. And then Tucker Napier, 11 points. In that championship game, and just hitting threes and playing with emotion. Just really, really happy for him that he was able to find that competitive edge and show up when it really mattered, and he deserved it because he's a great kid, and I think that put us over the top. So he was definitely the surprise there in the championship game for sure.
I will say earlier in the tournament, I hadn't watched Powell County much through the season. When it got to the tournament, even though they had a lot of younger guys that hadn't been in that moment a lot, it really felt to me like they were living in it. I saw a lot of raw emotion out there on the floor and energy. But I'm going to be honest, and you alluded to it there, watching that region championship game, your guys were ready for that moment. You could see it. The Bulldogs, from the moment they stepped on the floor, and they've been there before. You mentioned that, you know, they're seasoned vets, but you could see that we're here in this moment, and it's just that we're here. We're ready for it. So, and I think hats off to you. A lot of that comes from the leadership.
Well, it's hats off to the whole coaching staff. It was prepped and it was planned, and there was visualization exercises the day before, and we're laying down, and, you know, some people want to make fun of the Zen master and that type of approach, but I believe in it, and I'm not ashamed for things that I believe in, especially if I think it can give me a competitive edge. So, you know, we walked through everything, and we visualized ourselves on the ladder, and we visualized ourselves cutting that net down, and we visualized ourselves in the uniforms we would be wearing, and the teams we would be playing, and the bench we would be on, and we were just as specific as possible. So you pair that with the seasoned vets that Al Holland had kind of, you know, they had gone through the mill with, and they were ready because of him, and then just our technique and how we did it from a mental perspective, they were ready. And you know, on the board, not the board, we didn't have a board in our locker room. We actually had a mirror that I wrote on, but on that mirror, I had written WIN, the old Coach K acronym, what's important now. And the whole message was just be where your feet are. You know, when you say be in the moment, it's real. You have to be where your feet are. You cannot get caught up and with what just happened or what may happen or hypotheticals. You have to be in the moment on every single play. And if you can do that and you can be in the moment, you're going to reach some type of flow state, and you're going to be your best competitor. And that's what we were trying to get from those guys. And luckily, it was just a collective effort, and it delivered, and thankfully it worked out.
Austin Kidd, you weigh in on some of these. Casey, I want to go through our viewers real quick. You alluded to a lot of comments that I feel like we're going to see here. I want to start off with one back early in the show. A guy you know all too well, Isaac Cottle, says that, first off, if Jeremy Osborne doesn't get a shout out for the weightlifting program, he's going to be upset. I'm going to keep him from being upset. Here's your opportunity for the shout out.
We are not taking that away from Coach O, but Jeremy Osborne is the backbone of the team. He makes sure I've got a Red Bull at practice. He makes sure I got water, but I've got to give the weightlifting program to Coach O. But now Jeremy does have a big hand, and he's run the program, and we give a shout out to all those guys. I give a shout out to Coach Cottle. He's like my shrink. He's a part of this too. I text him all the time and talking, bouncing ideas off of him. So he's a part of this too.
Love it.
Coach Huff, I got one for you. You talk a little bit, talk a little bit about Coach Holland, but you followed up two legends in Eastern Kentucky basketball at this point. And I'd like to hear a little bit about what Coach King, what you took from him that helped you prepare for a moment like this. But coming into Hazard, Coach Holland, you alluded he laid the foundation. You played a Knott County team who, in my opinion, was playing some of the best basketball in the 14th region. And you look at the coach that's been there the past 3 years that laid the foundation. And so hat tip to you. There's not a lot of guys who can that want to coach behind a legend, but can come in and do it successfully in year one. Those kids have been hearing the same voice for a long time, and you got somebody come in and you're trying to win at the highest level. Like, that's not an easy thing to use. So what competing against Coach Holland, what do you take away from that? Coach King, what'd you learn from him, and how'd that get you ready for this moment?
Yeah, I remember when I first had gotten into this thing, they said never take a job where they build a statue of the previous coach, and I've done that twice.
Literally.
And it's tough, it's tough, but it's also an honor. The thing with Coach King was he just had this energy about him where you didn't ever want to let him down. I mean, that's true. You just didn't want to let him down. And I would say all of his players would attest to that. There was, I don't know if it was just that old school Appalachian simple talk, ultimate competitor, played in the SEC. You don't let a guy like that down. You know what I mean? Like he epitomized just an Appalachian mountain basketball coach. And I don't know. I could never mimic that, and maybe that's what I got from him. I can't do it that way because I don't have that type of, what does kids say now, aura. Coach King was a tough dude, man. He was a tough dude. And then to follow Al, he's went to Pike Central and everybody counted them out, and he's just done a tremendous job again, like shocker. Like that's what he does. He wins. Al Holland wins. He's just great at what he does. He's a ball coach. He knows ball. Al Holland knows ball. We can all agree with that. And I think those two guys, and I would put them up there with some of the best to ever do it in the mountains. I mean, they're in that conversation of top 5, 10, and I'm talking the best. I'm talking to Billy Hicks before he went to Scott. He had his tenure in Harlan County and at Corbin, and then you're talking about Bobby Keith, who is, the GOAT. So, those are two just incredible, larger than life figures. Those shoes can never be filled, but it's an honor to be able to follow them. It's an honor to be able to follow them, and it's an honor to be able to learn from one of them firsthand, and then from competing against the other one. I knew Hazard was a cool job, and it never at the time entered my mind that maybe I could be there someday. But I'll never forget Al Holland kicking my butt and me walking to the locker room. And if you've not been to Memorial, folks, get to Memorial because it's an experience. And it's the greatest place on earth. And I'm walking to the locker room, and the cheerleaders are behind me just talking smack, like barking, telling me to get out of there. And I'm like, this is the greatest job in the man. Like, this is what it's about. Like, Hazard basketball is this. Al Holland's got it licked, man. This is great. And then, God seen fit that I get to be a part of this in some capacity. And for however long it may last, I'm just going to enjoy the ride and give it my very best, and our staff will give it their very best, and we'll see what happens. But it's been cool, kid. It's been really cool, and it's been an honor to be affiliated in some shape or form with both of those legendary coaches.
Well, you've done them both justice. I'm
Yes.
confident in saying that.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, man. I really do. Thank you. It means a lot.
Well, you've referenced coaches in your talking so far, like Coach Bobby Keith and Coach Hicks and Coach King and Coach. But listen, Casey, you can see it, and one of the things I mean by that is maybe not in all the same aspects, but the energy that you pour into these kids, you see it, and I want you to know they feel that, right? You can see that pour into them and them leave it out on the floor, that they don't want to disappoint you either. And that's a very unique trait.
Well, I think any coach would agree. And again, it really, I'm not just saying this and harping on it tonight. I'm going to be humble. Like I'm telling you, you are only as strong as your staff. And I really believe we have the best staff in the mountains. I believe that wholeheartedly. And I lean into these guys, and they, I love our staff so much, and we do pour into these kids. And for you to say that, I always say that's the ultimate compliment. If you come up to me and you come up to our staff after a game and you say, man, those kids played so hard for you guys, that's all we need. We can deal with the rest. I always tell them, if it's a basketball mistake, I'll coach you through it. But it's attitude or effort, I'm going to come down on your ass. And that's the way I feel. And these kids, we've had our ups and downs some, and we've had to break some horses a little bit, but man, they keep showing up, and their attitudes has been fantastic, and their effort, especially in late in the season, this regional tournament has been it's been the best, and I'm just really grateful to be able to coach them.
Something, when we talk about the likes of Al Holland and BB King, something I know they did. So I'm curious to ask this right here from the viewers. Matt Anderson wants to know, do you teach the jump shot?
So I'll give you Matt Anderson. Shout out Coach Anderson, was my assistant when I was in high school. And I was notorious for making a nice crossover, getting downhill, and just throwing up some ridiculous shot at the rim. If I wasn't dunking it, I was throwing it, and he just taught forever and ever, jump stop, elevate, jump shot, and hit a jump shot. And finally in college, I did, Coach Anderson. So yes, I do teach the jump stop. The closer you are to the rim, the higher your release can be. Tighten your core, point your toes down, and knock that baby in. So I do teach it. I was bad at it in high school, but I've grown and I've gotten much better. Emily Owens, give Emily a hand clap, guys. Look at that. Missing Brady Kennedy. We missed him too, Em.
Where in the world is Brady?
Where in the world is Brady?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Now, point guard. I'm not even gonna read that. I'll get emotional. I can't. I love you, Drake. That's that right there, man.
We've been talking a lot about
this championship. Feels amazing, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it. But you always gonna think about your players you didn't get to win one with. That hurts. That always hurts. But you can't win them all. You got to figure that out too. You can't win them all. And those kids that pour their heart and soul into it, like the Drake Sloans of the world, man, you want to, more than anything, those are the kids you want to get to rough. And I'm so grateful that I got these kids are going. That's what it's about. Seth Cottle, Trace Kincaid, all those kids, all of them, they're going to Rupp Arena, and they get to experience this, and with their boys. And I told them, I'll never forget, guys. I'm rambling. I'm sorry, but
I love it.
June, July. Let's see. I can't tell you when I took the job. Late May, June. And I remember being in the gym. It was a hot day, and I just was looking up at the wall, and I was like, fellas, if we hang one, if we can hang some new laundry, 30 years from now, you'll be able to come in here and you'll be able to experience, just recounting the memories and celebrating. And that's what it's about. Like that is what it's about, is having that opportunity. And we talked about it, and they did it, and they get to do it. You know, it doesn't matter what you think about me personally. I know, you know, there's a lot of hate always stirring out there for whatever reason, but it don't matter what you think, what you say, what you do. You cannot take that banner from those boys now. And that's the ultimate trump card for me.
They don't have reunions for losing teams, Coach. And those guys, they're going to realize this one day down the road. They're going to still be getting together, and they're going to be talking to their friends at other schools and be like, y'all had never got together. It's been 15 years, and nobody comes back to celebrate that. Nobody cares.
You're right, man. Well said. It's really special, and I'm just so happy for those boys. So happy for my boys.
These are the moments that 15, 20 years from now, you're sitting in Larry's barbershop in downtown Hazard, or Matt's in and wherever Matt ends up and cutting hair. And these are the stories that they talk about while they're sitting in the barbershop.
Yeah, these anecdotes, you know, I don't think that I don't think it's sat in for like Talon Osborne how iconic in the mountains that dunk is going to be. Yep. Like that's going to be played on WSGS come tournament time.
Yep.
Every season. All 5 players touch the ball, and Talon just gets his chin above the rim and dunks it. Like that's poetic. You were a part of that. You did that. So, and it's forever. I put that on a post the other day. Like it's forever. You can't take that from them. So
I hope he has that already, a poster hanging above his bed, or actually in his living room.
I mean, is it okay if I do, or is that weird?
Yes, absolutely. I would expect it. I would.
That's what I told somebody in the group text last night. Told Coach O, it's like, you got to get that hung up in his room. I was like, that's going in my room. I'm bringing that up in our room. That's going in the coach and all. You're going to see that everywhere.
Casey, you've talked about that. Drake mentioned that you could listen to you for 5 minutes and know you're the best coach in the region. Sam Sparkman had some very good words for you. We'll get to his question too, but it leads me back to this question from one of our good friends, Matt Jones. And I think when you answer this question, it will explain why Drake said what he did, why Sam said what he did, why all of these people are commenting what they did. Matt Jones says, Coach Huff would be interested in hearing about how you built the culture you have in 1 year. And listen, I know that we laugh, we talk, you're a culture guy, but Casey, it shows through and through. A lot of the things you've said are the way you've established this culture, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
First of all, that's a jab from my boy Matt.
It is a jab.
You know, hey, it's all good, Matt. You know I'm a culture guy. I like the signage on the wall. But Matt will also be the first one to tell you that, you know, if you really did want to break down culture and leave out all the fluff, it's what you do every day. And it's how you do it. That's what culture is. You know, I always say you can tell the culture of a team if I show up to practice and the head coach isn't there, what's it look like? That's your culture. And your culture is going to be better if your culture is player driven. We all know that, right? It can't be coach driven. If you got guys that really want to win, that hold each other accountable, that's how you build your culture. And thankfully, we've got guys that want to win. And that was our culture. And that, you know, Drake at Knott County it was every day. He didn't have a bad day. I always told him, and I tell all my guys this, you know, moodiness combats trust. You know, if you want to be a good leader, you can't be moody. And you can't have bad days. And there's two people that can never have bad days, and that's your point guard and that's your ball coach. So I try to be very intentional about if I got something going on, I leave it at the door. And then, you know, then you got someone like Seth Cottle who I don't know if you guys have listened to his interviews or, you know, I don't know how invested you've been, but if you're not a Seth Cottle fan, it's because you don't know him. This kid his disposition and how he carries himself is just incredibly wise beyond his years. He's taught me things this year as a coach. I'm learning from my players every day, and I've learned a lot from Seth. And he kind of set the tone. Seth had one goal when we started all this, and it was to play at Rupp Arena and to win this thing. And he did it. And a lot of our culture started with him and these seniors. And again, it's player driven and just really appreciative to be a part of a special group of guys that wanted to win bad enough to put their personal aspirations to the side and do whatever necessary to ensure that we gave a collective team effort and gave our best shot.
Love it. Love it. And you kind of answered it there, Casey. Sam said, this wasn't an easy situation you walked into. The expectation was to win right now. You were supposed to win, right? And so the fans were reminding you about it daily. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Because of that and what you've shown that you did do it, what did you learn the most about leading this team and dealing with adversity early on?
What I learned most about leading this team and dealing with adversity, I don't know if I've learned anything new, but maybe just doubling down on some stuff. Adversity is going to hit, and it's cliche, and we always say they're cliche for a reason. They're true. Adversity is going to hit, and you've got to be able to hit it head on. You can't have any fear. I knew it was coming. We all knew it was going to be a tough season. We knew we were going to have some ups and downs and some peaks and valleys, but I think the main thing is just keeping your head down and continuing to do the work. That's the biggest message for anybody in any type of competitive environment, in any type of leadership role. You just keep working. The tougher it gets, the harder you work. Like, I think that's the key. It's beating you down. You're exhausted. All right, I'm gonna give you my best shot next. I'm gonna work even harder. Like, I'm gonna figure out a way to double up. And I think when you do that, eventually the good guy wins. Eventually the good teams win. Eventually things start coming your way. Karma's real, energy's real. And you just put in the work and you do things the right way. My pops always says, do the right thing and the right thing will happen next. And I believe in that. So just doing the right things and continuing to work despite the setbacks, despite the naysayers, the doubters, the haters. Let them hate. Use it for fuel, baby. Load me up. So we love it. We're just going to outwork you and we're going to figure it out. That would be the thing I would hope we learn from it.
It's been your favorite photograph of the season, Justin?
First of all, let's talk about my favorite photographer, Justin Fugit. Absolute. Justin Wes? Blue.
I know Justin. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that'll probably be it. I'll take that one. The one with me and my daughter's on the ladder. Gosh, I've got so many early ones I love. But man, Justin, I know he didn't ask for this. He's genuinely he works at his craft, and I know he really wants to know probably what my favorite photograph is. But I'll say this about Justin: he has been just an incredible asset to our team. We were friends in college. He's came back home, and the way that we work at what we do is how Justin works at what he does. He's cut from the same cloth.
Yep.
And man, I'm so happy to have that guy along for the ride. My favorite photo I have to think about though, there's some that he's okay. I know which one it is. And I'm sure some of you seen Maya Dale in the crowd. Cheering on her dad and just showing some raw emotion. That one for sure is my favorite photograph for sure.
Is Corey Thacker and Matt Anderson's rooms ready? That's what I want to
know. No, this is Matt Taylor's
not Matt Anderson. This is Matt. Yeah.
So Corey, Coach Thacker is a part of the very small Coach Huff coaching tree. 5 years into this, and got his district championship this year. So kudos to him and the Betsy Lane girls basketball team. And then obviously Matt Taylor is a very dear friend of mine, and there was a time we hated each other when we competed, and now I love him, and I lean on him a lot. And your rooms are not ready. The board did not agree to pay for those, but you can take them out of we'll get you set up. I'll take care of you both. Okay, I really will. If that's what we got to do, I'll do it.
Yeah, you're going to love this next transaction. And I want to say, Drake said earlier that it's time for Pope to hang one. Listen, Casey Huff's going to tune in. He just won a tournament. Coach Pope is in a tournament. He's going to chime in here in just a second on that whole process. But I'm curious to hear about this. So, Casey, be careful, because Tucker Johnson wants to know who your favorite player to coach has been this year. But then Trace Kincaid says you better answer that question very wisely. So,
my favorite, I'll answer this. My favorite player to coach this year is by far Jacob Walker. Jacob Walker is my favorite player to coach. He brings it every day. Those guys, man. I love my whole team, man. They're freaking personalities, guys. I'm telling you. It's a unique group.
I love it.
I almost hesitate to bring this up because we've been going for 45 minutes, but we talk great coaches. You got a bunch of great people around your program. You got some great players. But you guys are part of, and I feel honored to be just like an extension of this, but you guys are part of probably the greatest brotherhood in college basketball. I don't like Duke can wear the shirts, but Alice Lloyd, like Wes has a story from this past week. It's unbelievable. All like the four corners of the earth. Like, it's why we're all friends. We got friends flying in from Texas next week that we met at John Calipari basketball camp, coming to watch you and the Hazard Bulldogs play. Like, it's a global brand. It's unbelievable.
It is, man. Praise the Lord. I love
Lord.
Lloyd College. And it connected so many of us. And it all stems from our boy Coach P at JMU. Preston Spradlin, his tenure at Morehead State, played with him at Alice Lloyd, and through him being at UK as a Dobo, that's correct, right? Director,
yes,
originally. Being with him there and then working those basketball camps is kind of what led to just us meeting you guys, and then now we're global. The GAC is global, and it's just an incredible thing to be a part of, and I just value your guys' friendship so much. I really do. Like, even in the season, if I'm not responding in the group text, it's still keeping me sane. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice to just see you guys bantering back and forth, even when I'm overwhelmed. So yeah, man, it all started Alice Lloyd with Preston, and it's blossomed into a really cool thing and a lot of friendships.
And when he says global, part of that is because we still don't know where Fred Deverly is. He might be alive or he might be dead, but anywhere on the globe.
He's doing
Sesquiles Island is the last I heard.
Fred is fine. He's fine.
Who was your favorite assistant to coach with this year, Casey Huff?
Definitely Jason said answer. Yeah, Coach O for sure. Yeah, for sure. My favorite assistant in Fernandina Beach, though, was Coach Wade Pelfrey. I've never seen a guy so in his habitat. And Coach Hurt was like, man, do you think we can just wear shorts and Hawaiian shirts to the game? I was like, yeah, I mean, sure, we're at the beach. I'm fine with that. Coach P was great. No, I love all my assistants. It's really like a family. I think that's what's made this really special is it really feels like family. You don't always get that. You guys know that. And you can win with teams that aren't that if you're good enough. But when you are that, it really increases your chances and stacks your deck.
Yeah.
And we were that. We are that. And I'm very grateful for that.
Casey, listen, first of all, before we move on with this, I do want to say that we all are super proud of you, as you've seen from this comment section, and we can't wait to be at Rupp Arena Thursday at 11 to cheer on the Hazard Bulldogs. One quick thing before we move on, I want to talk about some SEC tournament with you, a coach who has just won a do-or-die tournament. So let's talk about that as the Cats prepare to continue in this.
Hours to the SEC. That's making me nervous. I don't know.
We're right there. But right now, here's your chance. your message to the Hazard fans and the Hazard community.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. I mean, showing up at these games. There's some really special ones out there specifically that have, on a personal level, I want to thank for taking my girls in at these games and just hanging out with Dharma and Maya. Means the world to me and my family. Thanks for supporting these guys, and we hope to make you proud. And the main thing is just continue to support these boys. Going forward, we're just getting started. I mean, there's one thing about this coaching staff is we're not done, and we're just getting started. And if anything for me, being a part of a win like this, it's just going to motivate us to work harder. That's what these things do. They make you get down, and they make, if you're really about it and you're competitive, this right here, hopefully it's the next step in just being even better and putting a product on the floor that the community and the people can be proud of and representing our school the right way. And, Hazard's a really proud place, and there's just a lot of really great people, and we're just really thankful to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, you're getting a lot of love from the Hazard community, and we all know how it is with the expectations, and just glad that, Coach, we're proud that you were able to deliver, and I know the community's proud of you as well.
Thanks, guys. We did deliver. Again, just collective and just happy to be a part of it, and that's really sincere. I'm just really happy to be a part of it.
Well, Coach Casey Huff, today the Kentucky Wildcats took on the Missouri Tigers down in Nashville. Came away with the victory, 78-72, second round of the SEC tournament. It was the first year in the history of Kentucky basketball that we played on a Wednesday of the SEC tournament. As wild as that sounds. But I want to just talk for a second as our video tries to load there, the highlights from the day. Going into this, talk about a team that has faced adversity, right? Coach Pope comes in following a legendary coach, the same as you have in high school basketball. He follows the legendary John Calipari and goes to the Sweet 16 his first year at Kentucky. This year, he comes in with an injury early in the season to his point guard. A little bit of a risk with Jaden Quaintance that we took hasn't panned out as he is still sidelined with his injury. Let's talk a little bit about that, guys. What is Coach Pope dealing with right now as he fights through this adversity? Cam Williams finally back yesterday. It's just been a lot of injuries for Coach Pope, a lot of adversity from a community and a fan base that has expectations at the highest. What's that like for Coach Pope?
Coach Huff, you want to start?
No, go ahead, kid.
I have a lot.
You're more fluent in this space than I am.
Listen, I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I can imagine Coach Huff probably hasn't watched a lot of college basketball the past couple days because he's a winner. And he's focused on winning. His season's still going, man. These guys are still playing. So I have a lot of thoughts on this. Coach Pope understands as well as anyone. He played for arguably the greatest coach of all time. You could say Rick Pitino's the greatest ball coach of all time. You could have a debate at least. But one of the toughest coaches to play for of all time. So he understands what it's like to roll your sleeves up and win at a program that where the expectation is to win and not just win games, win national titles. So I know he understands it. I mean, and he's been very open about that. But at the end of the day, you got to produce these results. And I really want to see – it's so hard. There's all this speculation. There's all these narratives. I just want to see the guy coach with a healthy team in the SEC. And I think it's just really hard to say much until we do get that. We get that substance. But to get Cam Williams back at this point in the year, we've seen he's hit a couple shots. One had a nice little bounce today. I don't know if you call that a bounce. But having a guy like that back when you're playing back-to-back days, somebody with that size that you can play at multiple positions, that can make shots, that has some athleticism, it just gives somebody a break on the floor that the defense has to respect. That's huge. It was really nice. This Missouri game, a lot of people thought we should have won when we played them at home. Yeah. And we were up on them for dang near the whole game. and that's what I think people expected that first match. But I think it says a lot about when they made a run, they got punched in the mouth. Kind of how when Powell County made a run there late in against the Dogs. The Hazard Bulldogs, they didn't flinch. Those guys didn't play there. And it looked like today the Cats, like, hey, we've been here. You
cut out on us, kid. Did we lose Austin Kidd
You
for a
lost
second?
him. I love this segue though from Kentucky basketball to the Powell County Pirates reference was fantastic.
That was fantastic. I thought so too.
Now, Kid's in the heart of Lexington. There's no reason he doesn't have his Wi-Fi's not working right now.
Yeah, what about that? I know he's got some high premium Spectrum internet right there.
For sure. But I do like what he said about, them showing some toughness and resiliency and bouncing back. I got to watch some of that game today. I was trying to figure out some logistics for our state tournament, but I do think that's a really good sign, right, Blue? I know you follow the team closely. I've not been as invested as I was in the past, but anytime tournament play rolls around and you got some guys responding when they get hit in the mouth, I know that's a good sign. And also, I would like to say probably had Missouri's coach. I like that guy.
Oh yeah,
he's done a really good job. Like that guy knows ball. He can coach. So yeah, good win for the Cats for sure.
Well, and you think about it, you said it's a great win. Austin Kidd was alluding to it. A lot of people thought we should have won that game earlier in Lexington. Guys, it was the first game Missouri has ever won at Rupp Arena, and earlier in the year when they won 73-68. And this was the first time that the two teams have ever met in the SEC tournament. So I feel like it was, even though we are a tournament lock at this point for the NCAA tournament, I still think it was a must-win for Coach Pope as a redemption from earlier this season.
Absolutely. Like the Cats needed that one. You always want those games as a fan. You want to see, you want that revenge. But to get another shot at Florida, like they're playing as basketball as good as anyone, you guys, at least Wes, knows how I feel about Florida. So I'm really excited to get another shot at them. There's going to be this narrative like, well, the Cats are coming off 2 games in 2 days. Florida's playing their best basketball of the year. They're probably going to be a 1 seed, even if they happen to lose tomorrow. So, they're not expected to win, but as a coach, like that's one of the reasons you play, like to compete in games like that. Like that gets me excited. A lot of people miss opportunity. I always think of this quote when I see you, Casey. I don't know why, but a lot of people miss opportunity because it's dressed in overalls and looks like hard work. And tomorrow's an opportunity for the Cats,
That pick. Yes. Yes. I love that. I love that.
It's an uphill battle, but like if you're a competitor, like you're looking forward, you're licking your chops for an opportunity like that. You're not supposed to win that game. Like, all right, I got a chip on my shoulder. I'm going to go show these people what's up. I'm going to go show them what we're about.
I think this, like you said, that these are the moments when you see what a team's made of. This is set up for the Cats to come and win or lose, show what type of competitive spirit they have when it really matters and your back's against the wall. And nobody fights like when your back's against the wall. That's when you're going to get my best shot. So I think this is a really good opportunity for the Cats for sure.
Well, when you're Mark Pope and you played for the guy like Rick Pitino, like we just talked about earlier, I want you to think about this, guys. Kentucky's all-time record in the SEC tournament is 138-31. 138-31. And games in Nashville, Kentucky is 24-7. And so you think about the legacy that Kentucky carries in the SEC. 31 SEC championships compared to Alabama's 8, who is in second place. Guys, that is, for Coach Mark Pope, this is something like Kidd said, even though it's a game you're not supposed to win, it's a huge moment for Coach Pope and the Wildcats.
And he knows that. He knows that, and I think the guys know that. But that's one thing I'll tip my hat to Todd Golden. He gets those guys to play with the grit like they're not supposed to win those games either, even though they are. So I think they'll come out ready. I love this time of year because it feels like every one of these games is good. It does. Everybody plays up to their competition this time of year is what it seems to feel like. So it's so enjoyable. But you got this going on. We got the state tournament right around the corner. You got March Madness right around the corner. The girls' state tournament's going on right now. Just good basketball left and right. So everybody kind of rises to the occasion because they know that's what the people want.
Yep.
Well, I'll say that, again, this isn't my forte right now, but we'll do a deep dive real quick because I'm sure you guys know. So what type of edge do we have going into that Florida game? I mean, is there anywhere we can exploit a matchup? Do we have any type of – is anything going our direction, or is it just I hope we show up and play really, really hard and things go our way?
I'll let Kid attest to this, but one of the things, Coach Huff, that stood out to my mind today – the last two matchups against Florida, I feel like their inside game has absolutely destroyed us. Now, with that being said, I thought today, hopefully, was a day that Brandon Garrison got this monkey off of his back and he's ready to play. He came out the last two games, guys, and he's looked a lot better yesterday and today. So I think, with Malachi Moreno and Brandon Garrison, if they can limit a little bit of that inside presence that Florida has had in the last two games, I think we've played them close, even though they've dominated the games inside. So I really think that this is an opportunity, if we can limit that, to maybe pull an edge in that category. Kid?
Thomas Houck's been playing some of the best, and I believe I said that correctly. I want to say how, but Thomas Houck has been playing some of his basketball. He's an All-American caliber player. But I think this is a prime example for having a guy like Cam Williams back on the court. He gives you – he's 6'8". He's super athletic. I think just by trade, he's a really good defender. So he's another body you can throw at Thomas and kind of try to slow him down. But I think the Cats know what to expect. Denzel hasn't played great in the two games prior. He hasn't really played great this turn. I think he's played good. He's handled the ball well, but he hadn't played great up to this point. I think he can still take it to another level. So I think he's due one. I think the Cats got that in their back pocket too. But at the end of the day, I think the Cats, it's say what you want. Like statistics show this isn't a real thing, but I'm a believer that it's hard to beat a team three times. Like Pope's going to have some stuff in his bag. We know they're going to try to take Colin Chandler away. Teams have done a really good job of that late in the season. That is what I'm really curious to see is, do we put Colin in some screening actions? Like, how do we manipulate that defense to create some looks there? And then they're such a physical team. This is what I always say about Florida. Like, you're starting to get more to that neutral court. Now, it's still SEC officials. It's an SEC setting. These officials have been on Florida games all year, but it's more of a neutral setting. Like, how's this game going to be officiated? Because they're so physical. So if they come out, they called the day tight. It was really tight for the Cats both ways. Tight. And if they call a game tight like that, I think it could really throw Florida off their game, because I don't know, they haven't been called tight many games at all this year. Agreed. And this late in the season, like I don't know, that they're probably not prepared to make a ton of adjustments based on that, would be my guess. So I'd be really curious to see how the whistle goes early. Not that I would ever blame an official for Kentucky losing the basketball game.
Never.
That was a really great deep dive answer. That's honestly, from the outside looking in, that you gave me everything I needed to know in order to watch the game now and be prepared. That's great. I mean, you're talking about ball screen coverage and what we're doing, and that's great, man. That was perfect. Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if it's a Kentucky thing. I don't know if it's a John Calipari thing. I don't know if it's a God thing that it just so happened that it's these guys in our lives. But listening to Austin Kidd and Andrew Ortelli and Brady Kennedy and the Preston Spradlin, John Calipari Kentucky coaching tree is a pleasure. It's a pleasure to listen to.
It really is. I mean, I'm like, some of the smartest people I know are in a group text called the GAC, and it's just incredible. I mean, kid, you really are. I mean, you're a basketball mind, and the way you break things down is always a pleasure to listen to, man. That was great.
Well, I learned from the best. I spent a couple years in the video room with Coach Andrew Ortelli, so
you did. I've been shout out Ortelli and the Owls. How's the Owls? How are we faring on that?
Well, I won't say what Ort said, but the Owls struggled a little bit, but we know it wasn't because of their video coordinator / assistant coach. Yeah. They're not losing that battle anymore.
They're not losing that battle. Yeah. All right, back to the Cats. We love you.
Coach Huff, something that you, it doesn't matter if you've been watching the Cats as of late or not, that you know all too well about, Kid alluded to. Florida is supposed to win this game. They are top 5 team in the country. They are going to be a number 1 seed, possibly, regardless of what happens in this game against Kentucky at the lowest of 2. But they are previous national champions from last year. Going into a game like this, when you are the favorite, you've already beaten this team twice in the season. How hard does that get for Todd Golden and the Gators to coach a team who is supposed to win? You've beat the previous team twice. That makes it a little bit difficult, I think.
Yeah, I think so. There's mental warfare there, and the psychological aspect and trying to figure out, how to get these kids prepared to play in a game and compete when they know that they're the favorite is not an easy task. And at the end of the day, I mean, you're dealing with young men, but you're still dealing with, these are a lot of teenagers. These are teenagers. These are young guys. So that's going to be tough. And on the flip side of that, the Kentucky Wildcats, you're playing with house money, man, and that's always a good place to be. You get to go in there and just let it all hang out and give your best effort and see where the chips may fall.
Excited to see and listen as Kid. We want to know what internet provider you have, Kid.
Yeah, this is not. We thought.
Shout out to Kinetic right now. I love them. Love them.
Shout out Kinetic.
Never fails. Just it'd be great until Kentucky's, in some crunch time. I'll be streaming Hometown 24 and the game's getting tight. That's when
you did see Talon's dunk, though, right?
I did.
Okay.
I saw the dunk. I saw the embrace.
Internet was working fine at that point.
I went out. I took every other device in the house off the internet at that point, and it was like, we can't risk this.
Oh. Man, you probably had better internet connection than Megan Huff had at the time, Austin Kid. I sat in front of her during that championship game, and I feel like most of the game when I look back, she kind of had this emotion on her.
For sure. She wanted that one.
As a competitor, I imagine she did.
I had to tell her a couple of times to breathe. I was like, Megan, breathe.
Relax. We're going to make it.
It's a family thing. It's a family. Everybody's invested. But like Pope talks about his group text with all the guys he plays with. And again, like those guys won a championship together. They're still celebrated, They still talk to each other all the time. But he said, I'm more afraid of them than I am the media and the fans after the games because those guys, like, they understand the standards. So I can imagine. Yep. I can imagine you get that, when you get home to the house, I can't imagine that it's always sunshine and roses. Like you probably get some truth there too.
Oh, you do. I like the truth serum, and she knows that. That's what we want. And Pope, man, I love that he said that. And I want that guy. I want Mark Pope to succeed. I don't find myself following teams anymore. I follow coaches.
Yes.
If there's certain coaches on, I'm watching that game, whether it's on ESPN3 or, we run the Merrimack Zone. So I'm always watching Joe Gallo. Like, I'm following coaches, but I just pull for Mark Pope. I know like his heart's in the right place and he loves this state. And man, I just hope he can figure it out. Yeah, man. I hope he can. And it's like Austin alluded to earlier and he touched on, I'm just not sure if it's fair. We're judging a guy when, we're not healthy. We haven't been healthy. So I just shout out Mark Pope, man. Hang in there. Things are going to get better. Maybe it starts tomorrow with the Gators. So let's give us a dub. I think that'd be what we got 20 wins right now.
We're at 20.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
I was doing my calculations today on trying to do the math. I don't think I came up with a final answer on how much of a buffer we got between Kansas, so still being the all-time wins leader in the history of college basketball. And it's not many. I think you can count it on two hands. So,
well, if Drake Sloan's still watching, he'll comment about how big of a Bill Self fan I am. So
I do love some Bill Self high-low.
I love Bill Self.
That dude just throwing.
I'm a sucker for Bill Self, man. I think he's the best. So
He is.
I think I've said time and time again, I think in today's game, he might be the most underrated Hall of Fame coach that's out there in the league coaching.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that 100%.
To coach Kansas as long as he has and have them relevant every single year is impressive.
Just incredible job.
It's hard to win.
That being said, Todd Golden, one of the hot names in college basketball right now, one of Austin Kidd's favorite coaches. Notice that smirk. It's
he doesn't like anybody from Florida. We've already said this.
I have some biases. There are a lot of really good coaches in Florida. Actually, one of my favorite humans in college basketball is a guy named Michael Fly from Fulton, Kentucky. So shout out Western Kentucky. But he is the GM of the Florida State Seminoles, who I haven't checked the score since we've been on the call, but they're playing Duke right now. And Luke Laux, they've done a phenomenal job. But there's some really good people in Florida. There's some good basketball. There's a lot of talent down there. But I'd take my Kentucky coaches any day.
For sure. Shout out Fulton, though. Yeah.
Shout out Fulton. Before we go, remember, guys, Cats tip off at 1 p.m. tomorrow. It's hard for us working folks to try to catch the Cats during these daytime games, but we always make it happen somehow. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time, tip off for the Cats. Before we go, I can't get off here, Casey Huff, without a question from one of the people that we all know too well, a member of this group that Austin Kidd has spoken about from the connection of Alice Lloyd College. Cody Stumbo wants to know, what challenges do we see Butler High School presenting to the Dogs?
Great question. Stumbo, shout out Stumbo, man. Love that guy. Looks like the mustache is still just as great as ever. Butler is good. They're very well coached. They're very disciplined. They run their stuff. Number 24, their leading scorer, I think, is a commit to Kentucky State. They got a couple of good athletes. They're a good basketball team. They're a really good basketball team. They look like they're a well-coached team. They play hard. But the Dogs will be ready. We're going to be prepared. We're going to do our due diligence. We're not going to go in scared. I wish there were a way to mimic what those kids are going to feel when they walk through those curtains for the first time and they walk out onto that floor, because I remember doing it in a preseason showcase, and it's a lot to take in. And the depth perception behind the goals is different. And it's just, there's no way, unless you've been there, that you can really mimic that. And I wish there was a way we could do that, because that's the one thing I think we have to figure out, how to neutralize as much as possible in our prep. But otherwise, I know that we're going to be ready. I know we're going to compete, and I know we're going against a really good team that we're going to respect. And we're just excited about the matchup and the opportunity.
What challenges does an 11 a.m. game present? Coach Pope infamously took the decision the other day to stay in Lexington and practice at game time the other day rather than traveling to Nashville. Is that something that you all take into consideration with an 11 a.m. tip-off?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We actually contacted Alice Lloyd today, and actually not heard back from them about the time, but we want to practice there at 11 on Saturday. That way we're just on the college floor, and we're up at the same time, and we're doing our prep at the same time, and then hopefully mimic it that one more day prior to us playing. But I do think it's challenging, but like all these challenges that we're about to get hit with, both teams are experiencing it. So, you can't make excuses. You figure out, you do what you need to do to prep, and you roll with it from there.
I'm really excited for you guys, and here's why. For this opportunity for you guys, because one day there's going to be a coach saying, "Hey man, I got to follow Casey Huff. I got to fill in his shoes."
Yep.
And there's going to be a player that says, "I'm wearing number 13 this year for the Hazard Bulldogs. I got to live up to the respect that this jersey was that Seth Cottle put into this jersey. Number 22, Tucker Johnson wore this jersey. Like I got to put some respect on this jersey number." And the reason they're going to have those conversations is because those kids and that coach, they're competitors, and they look forward to challenges like this.
Man, means a lot. Very well said, and very sincerely and received. Thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. You know, and the 13's already a magical number. My boy, 7th grader, point guard on the rise, Noah Carter, number 13. You know, he's wanting to fill Seth's shoes. And Seth won for Coach P had it before him. Coach Wade Pelfrey,
Yep.
elite point guard, played JUCO days at Walter State, played at EKU, finished up at U Pike. So that's what culture is. That's what legacy is. That's what community is. That's what Hazard is. And God found it fit that this old goon right here from Harlan County got to be a part of it for a little bit. So we're enjoying it, man. Thank you for saying that, kid.
Love it. Love it. Well, guys, the Cats tip off 1 p.m. tomorrow. The Dogs tip off Thursday at 11 a.m. I cannot wait to see the results of both and be proud of both teams as they compete in these tournaments. Casey Huff, Austin Kidd, can't thank you enough, guys, for hopping on this show with us tonight. It has been an absolute blast. Two of my favorite people in the world. Thank you so much.
Look, you do a great job. You
Thank
really
you.
do. I mean, you do your research, you work at your crafts. Everything we're looking up at here is top notch. Not everybody's able to put on a production like this, and besides Austin Kidd's internet being terrible, it was flawless. Thanks for letting us be a part of this and just keep doing your thing, man. You and Winston and everybody else, Brady, you know, I just love all you guys and got a lot of respect for you. And John Graham, that's my high school teammate, saw that pop up. Love that guy. Yeah. Graham's the man. But
You
yeah,
said earlier he was still a better player than you. I just want you to know that in case you didn't see that.
he's also delusional at times, but aren't we all? So, no, man, you do a great job, man. We appreciate being on tonight and appreciate you giving us a platform to talk and express ourselves. And kid, I love you. Your shirt's tough. It's super dope. I love
Appreciate
that.
it.
And just love you guys, man. It's good to see you guys.
Absolutely.
I love you both. I hope I did
Love you.
Brady justice. I hope I put some respect on this seat. And go Cats and go Dogs. Woof, woof.
Go Dogs. Go Dogs.
Roof for hoof.
Shout out to Coach Casey Huff, Austin Kidd. Shout out to Brady Kennedy, wherever he's at tonight. Shout out to Hometown 24 and MCHC. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.